Welcome to my second video on slope. This is part 2 of the previous day's lesson. So today we're going to be looking at graphing a line given a point and a slope. So in our previous lesson, we learned to find the slope of 2 points. Now we're going to find a second, third, fourth, maybe even fifth point. By using the slope. So it says graph a line that has a slope of 2 and passes through the point below. So we know that a slope has a rise and a run, but we have a slope of 2. So how can we turn 2 into a fraction and it has the same meaning? That's correct. Put a 1 underneath it. 2 divided by 1 is still 2, but now we have a rise and now we have a run. And when we have a positive slope, the rise has to be positive and the run has to be positive. Or another way to make a positive is if the rise is negative and the run is negative. So I'm going to start by making both positive first. So we're going to start at the point and we're going to go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. Now I'm out of room there, so go back to the point. Now I got to go the other direction. So remember, positive slope, they both have to be negative since I'm going down 2 and now I've got to go left 1, down 2, left 1, down 2, left 1, and down 2, left 1. Now I'm going to connect my points. And make sure we put arrows on the ends because this is a line showing that it goes on and on forever. I just don't have a big enough graph. So moving on to number 2. It says graph a line that has a slope of -3 and passes through the point below. Once again, I don't have a fraction, so I'm going to write -3 and I can put a 1 underneath it, because -3 divided by 1 is still -3. Now I have a fraction, I have a rise, and a run. Now, since my slope is negative here, either the rise is negative or the run is negative, but they both can't be negative at the same time because that would create a positive. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to go up first. So since I'm going up 3, to make it negative, I now have to go left 1. Now go back to the point, and the only way I can go is down for the rise here. And since I went down 3, now I got to go positive. Down 3 over +1, down 3 over +1. Now I'm going to connect the points. Okay, not bad. And I'm going to put arrows on the ends. And now I've just created a line with a slope of -3. Now, going back to this first one, remember when we read it like a book from left to right, a positive slope will slope up. And when I read it from left to right, a negative slope will slope down. So that's another indicator that your graph is correct as far as positive and negative. Okay, moving on to example number 3. It says graph a line that has a slope of 0 and passes through the point below. Okay, so if it has a slope of 0, that means that the rise is going to be 0. And then you just use 1 point here. Okay, so the run is going to be 1. And what you see here is when I create a 0 slope, notice this makes a horizontal line. So I can continue making the dots here. because remember, zero slope is that special case. We could still ski on it. It's like cross-country skiing, um, but it doesn't have a positive or negative slope. It's just a flat horizontal line. So I'm going to connect the points here. Not bad. And arrows on the ends. And now we've created a zero slope. Okay, now graph a line that has no slope. Okay, well, with this one, we know the denominator is 0. And we're just going to make up a just going to make up a rise here. So go up 1, and notice those two dots make a vertical line. So we can continue that, continue making points, and remember, this is one you don't want to ski down because it's like going off a cliff, and going off a cliff will not end well for you. So this has no slope, and it's going straight down. So connect your points. And these are special cases. These are ones that you're going to have to just memorize. Okay. Now moving on to number 5. So it says graph a line that has a slope of -1/2 and passes through the point below. So once again, we have a negative slope. So we know we can either make the rise negative or the run negative. But remember, on a negative slope, they both can't be negative at the same time. So my rise is 1, so I'll just go up 1. Now, because I went up +1, now I got to go negative direction. So left 2. And then you continue the pattern. Up 1, left 2. And I can't go any further without going off the graph. So now I'm going to go back to my original point and go down 1. Now I went negative, so now the next one has to be positive. And then down 1 over 2. Okay, so connect your points. It's not too bad. And draw the arrows. And now you've completed a slope of -1/2. Now read it like a book, and let's make sure it's sloping down, and it is. So negative slope slopes down when you read it like a book. Okay, one more example, and then we've completed our notes for today. So it says graph a line that has a slope of 3/2 and passes through the point below. So remember, a 3/2, positive 3/2 slope, they both have to be positive to make a positive, or they both have to be negative to make a positive. So I'm going to go up 3 first, and in order to be positive, I've got to go right 2, and I can't go any further in that direction. So now go back to your original point. Now I'm going to go down 3, and since I went negative, I've got to go over -2. Because remember, it's a positive slope, so I can have them both negative. So let's do one more point. 1 down 3 over 2. Now connect your points. And remember to put the arrows on both ends to show that it's a line. And let's read it like a book from left to right, and it's sloping up, which matches our positive slope. Okay, that concludes our part 2 of slope. So I hope you have a great day.